Hey, what's going on guys, Migzuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a classic Esper control deck for standard best of one. So I was looking through a bunch of my old decks, and I was really looking at this one card that I used to build with all the time in my control decks, and I just haven't been doing for a while now, and that's Fae of Wishes, right? As a best of one control player, I really do miss having access to the wish board for super long grindy games, as well as being able to tutor up any sort of situational piece of interaction I wanted. And I missed playing 60 card control decks. I've been playing blinkable Yorion stuff pretty much all format, and as this format comes to a close, I think it can be time to sort of mix things up a bit. So this is more of a classic Esper deck, more Planeswalker focused, less tap out or less instant speed focused, and a lot more tap outy. And yeah, let's just get into the list. So we start with 2 Bloodchief's Thirsts as just a clean way to remove a creature, stay alive in the early game. We still are a control deck using black, so we want to stay alive as long as we can. Cling to Dust, we're still in a Rogues meta. Even though we're not a Yorion deck, that is a disadvantage because of the 20 less cards. We still want an escape card, right? And I think Cling is the best one for the format in black. So just the one can grind out card advantage, can gain you life. You can just use it as a 1 mana cantrip, so pretty good. 2 mana, we have the 2 births to make sure we hit our land drops. A key part of the deck is ECD. We have a lot of stuff to reanimate along with Teferi Master of Time to help us do so. Right, so ECD fits right in, and Birth helps us get the mana to get there. Also, the 0-4 wall is really, comes in handy. The Fae of Wishes, just went over this card. We can get into the wish board right now, so we'll just do that. We have the 1 Tormod's Crypt as a 0 mana card, just clean and easy way to wipe the grave against any sort of escapey thing. Right, and you can also exile all cards from targeted player's yard. So against rogues, if they let you resolve this, you can clean your own yard out completely. So just a fun thing to note. Light of Hope, blow up an enchantment, gain some emergency life. Just 1 mana, it's not bad. Another Bloodchief's Thirst, just in case you need to kill a creature and you have 5 mana but no way to do it. Fae can get you there. Duress, take a peek at the hand. Some counter magic, another way to stay alive, but also the Eliminate is here to take out a Crawling Barrens in particular. Midnight Clock against rogues, just reset your whole deck, one of the ways that we can make sure we don't get milled. Dispute, also for rogues, or any sort of Genesis Ultimatum deck, it's good to fetch a counterspell. That's also one of the reasons Neutralize is here. Shatter, because we have 4 mainboard extinction events, and in case you need to fetch a sweeper, Shatter is in the board. An Ashiok in case you've ran out and need a win con. Shark Typhoon if you are crazy enough to fetch it and hardcast it. If not, you can just cycle it for more cards. And a big shark. Ugin, wipe the board. Heliod's Intervention, you can gain a lot of life, but it's more here for the artifact and enchantment wipe. And 1 Crawling Barrens, because sometimes hitting your land drop is the most important thing, and I like my lands in the board to have an ability, and Crawling Barrens can be a land and a win con. So that's the wish board. We can get into the rest of the deck. Eliminate for Crawling Barrens and any sort of aggressive slanted deck. Mono White is very popular. They have a lot of counters, so a Heartless Hack seems a bit weaker against them, but still 2 Heartless Hacks because it deals with bigger creatures. So you can put more of this if you'd like, but I have a 2-1 split. The Tomes as a source of card advantage or or life gain, draw fixing. You guys know the Tome, great card. Apparition, we don't have the Yorion Blink combo, but we do have ECD to recur it. If you don't have double white, you can always discard it to the Master of Time and reanimate it with ECD. But yeah, Apparition, just versatile removal against aggro, against control mirrors, take out their Doom Foretold, great card. Nightmare is specifically here for the Rogues matchup, or if you're on the draw against something aggressive like Mono White or Gruul, they typically have creatures with less than 2 power on turns 1 and 2. So on turn 3, the Nightmare comes down, clips one of their creatures, and then you get to take, well, in Mono White, maybe a Basri, right, if they haven't resolved it, or Maul or some sort of instance or aggressive spell. It's not as great against Mono White as it is against Gruul or Rogues, where you can take counter magic into the Stories or Hinges or Cleaves. You guys know this card, great card. 4 extinction events. because I don't want to tax our mana too much. Double white's required for Apparition, ECD, and Trawler, and we do always want double black in the early game for our ways to stay alive and the Nightmare. And having one black is much easier than having two white, so Extinction Event is just a much more reliable sweeper in the deck. So that's why we have this. Also, there's a lot of big creatures running around, like Bone Crusher Giants, Love Struck Beasts, that type of thing. So Shatter doesn't look great, and again, against mono white, the all the Indestructible can make Shatter look really weak. So now I'll get into the Master of Time. I really like, one of the things that reminds me of classic Control is just slamming ECD and recurring it with Teferi 3. Oh, I say classic, I mean like from a format ago. But yeah, so we're playing this Teferi as another way, as another Planeswalker to abuse ECD with. You can discard any of our expensive Planeswalkers or even less expensive creatures to the Teferi on upkeep even, and then have your ECD resolve and reanimate one of these creatures virtually for free. It's also really annoying against aggro. Like, they have to throw a lot at it because the Teferi can always phase out any creature at any moment on the opponent's turn for the cost of 3 loyalty. It also helps us hit our land drops, and it's something that other control decks have to respect, because if they don't, we just get to take 3 turns. I miss playing with this card too, so we're just trying out too and seeing how it goes. ECD, pretty much flexible removal into the tax, into the reanimation, which is super good in this deck because we have plenty of targets. The 2 Ashioks, just more Planeswalker win con. I love this card in Dimir control, sets the opponent back. It can be its own win con with the 2/3s, and it ultimates really quickly, so great card. Also, if you play ECD, take it up, it ultimates the turn right after. So if you've exiled any number of permanents, maybe with a Cling to Dust, Elspeth's Nightmare in the previous turns of the game, then Ashiok can really just ultimate mad quick and get you a ton of value. Trawler, just as a alternate win con. I miss playing with Trawler as well in a just slam and hope it lives kind of way. I don't know. I don't think this control deck is optimal, but I do think it can be a lot of fun. So we have 2 Trawlers. You can probably just cut it down to 1 or even none if you want, but you guys know, when Theros dropped about this time last year, Trawler was the card to play in Azorius control. And then we have Ugin, just a come down, sweep the board, and basically recur it for free with ECD if we want. Mana base just has a ton of Esper lands. We play the 1 Bolt land in Amiria's Call because I think it's the best of the ones for control Esper. It can be a win con in and of itself. The 1 Castle, because drawing cards I think is better than scrying or making 1/1s, and we can't tax our mana base too much with castles. Aside from that, pathways and a couple temples, very white focused, so we end up having double white for our Apparition and our Elspeth Conquers Death. So that's the list, everybody. It will be in the description down below as always. If you guys are enjoying the fairly consistent uploads, I'd really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It really motivates me to make more content. And yeah, don't forget to like, and let's get into some games. Okay. Oh, this hand is sketchy. We're on the play, and we have Tome to smooth out our draw, and then triple 5-drop. I have faith in the Tome. Start off with Passage and just like hope it gets us there. We technically have all our colors, but this book is going to have to do some heavy lifting. Okay, so we won't fetch white because if we draw any births, we can just grab it. So we'll fetch black to start. 3rd ECD. Great. Anyways, we'll play out the pathway and play out the Tome past the turn. And I don't actually think I'll take a scry on my upkeep, but yeah, this is not ideal, guys. If we were on the draw, this is a easy mulligan, but I just have to hope the Tome will get us there. Eliminate. Keep. And yep, that's pass. The second the opponent plays a land, I'll have a chance to respond with the eliminate because the Brushfire Elemental's ability will go on the stack. So I can essentially not have to eliminate the Innkeeper on upkeep for fear that they would draw a card. Alright. Brushfire Elemental with Landfall. So now I'm more worried about that than anything. Yeah, attack face. Let's just punch the Elemental. Yeah, they can crack it. It really doesn't matter. We'll put a stop here just in case. They get in for 1. So I'm at a weird impasse where I think I'd keep land, but I don't love it because I do have to get to my 5 drops. And the opponent saves passage, making me believe they do have another Brushfire. And we'll grab blue and take a scry. I think we do have to keep untapped land and just hope we get there. So, I mean, I do, like, we need double blue for Trawler, but I think double black's more important for removal and stuff along those lines. So we'll play out the pathway and pass the turn and hold our triple ECD. Okay, now if the opponent cracks the passage, it probably means they're missing a land because they could easily hold that, play out their other land, like a third one, and then use the landfall ability. Yeah, as you can see, they don't play a land pre-combat here. When they don't attack, they're scared of a shark. Okay, so they did draw the land. Weird sequencing. Let's tap like this. Sort of bluff that I might have counter magic like Essence Scatter. Miria's Call is fine. And the opponent gets 2 draws, which feels kind of bad, but I still think I scry here in case I find an extinction event. If I do, that's much better. I don't have to pay the life, and I get to play a tap land. Birth is a no, it's too slow at this point, so let's go easy extinction event on more 5 drops. Okay. So we play it out. Take out the Bone Crusher. And hope for the best. We have plays for the next 4 turns. It really just comes down to, can we survive the beatdown while we do it? Alright, there's a Kazandu Mammoth. Extinction event for Odd looks really good right now. But I think we bait our opponent into destroying this Ashiok. We bounce the Mammoth. Force them to replay it. Maybe we can get an even juicier extinction event. The thing is, I want them to feel like they have to take out my Ashiok. Like, it gives them an opportunity to, but yeah, see, they just recast it, and if they do, I get it back for free with the ECD, and if not, it's still a board presence they have to respect. Okay, so ECD ticks down and does nothing. We can go for extinction event name Odd. And just start plussing our Planeswalker. Alright. So, there's a Brushfire Elemental into land. Does take care of the Ashiok. But at least that's 3 points of damage that don't go face. And see, the opponent has to kill it eventually. We just got a free 2/3 out of the deal. And there's an Innkeeper. Interesting. Let's go for the Apparition. What am I more worried about? I honestly think I can fight them on a card advantage front. The only way I really believe they get back into this game is through beating me to death, because these cards present loads of card advantage, and Tome is a really good drop. I just hold back. Fire Prophecy, yep, sure. Cycle of Passage, see? That would hit me for 5, because I can't block it. And then we're down to 7, and if they have Cleave, they win. Or not win, but pretty much. And yeah, the opponent scoops it up from there. So even though we kept a super sketchy hand, the Tome does its job, gains us some life, and scries us to victory. Okay, against Obosh. So probably some sort of adventures list. This is our white source, technically. So we have a easy curve out to 5 mana. We're just going to need to find more playables. But yeah, I think this is a pretty solid keep. It does a bit of nothing, but this can take an ultimatum, ideally. And yeah, opponent goes first, obviously. Hopefully this can take out an Innkeeper on the way there. And yeah, we're gonna need some stuff like tomes, maybe some planeswalkers. But this also could be a weird mono-black aggro deck, or like a weird Rakdos aggro deck. But yeah, I doubted it too. Trust me, guys. I've just been experimenting with like some old school stuff where a lot of people were running. What's the card? Yeah, they were running mono black Obosh, and I thought that looked like a lot of fun. So I was looking at it, and I had some hope that the opponent might have been as well, but clearly not. We'll play this on 2 and play the Birth to give us the option of whether we want to Nightmare or Skyclave next turn. By just playing out the Birth and not giving the opponent any more information. Alright, not a bad one. Just immediately slam Lovestruck Beast, draw a card. And make a wall. So we will take our shot and take a peek at the opponent's hand, as well as take out an Innkeeper on the way there, so that feels pretty good. Opponent plays Rada, okay. Interesting pick. Haven't faced Rada in a minute. To Fairy. Alright, so we do get punished for not having a blue source out. We can't play it on 4, but like I said, guys, ultimatum's there, and if they draw land, they're going to play a Terror, which is not good. But we can still... I can take out their Lovestruck Beast, or I can take out their Rada. Rada might give them a land, which would incentivize them to play the Terror. Lovestruck Beast just kind of sits there. I think we can take out the Rada. I think keeping this opponent off land is better, because if their turn is play Innkeeper by Obosh, we're also pretty happy. Yep. Let's take this chump block. Basically, Birth gains us 7 life instead of 2, which is always a welcome outcome. So, I think we definitely start here. Now, the real questions start to pile up. Do we play the Teferi face something? Do we get the ECD down and then play the Teferi and try to get back a free Ashiok? I don't think it's either of those, because we know we have to deal with 3 5 CMC creatures. The play might literally be just play Ashiok and plus. Try to push 2 ultimate, because we know there's a Genesis ultimatum there. And we can chump block this Lovestruck Beast for a minute with the tokens. And there's tap land, so he can go after my Ashiok, and I will gladly take this chump block every single time. Another ultimatum. Ooh, okay, so my goal of this video, is to, yeah, let's go with this video, is to get double ultimatum off. Okay, so Fae's a very interesting draw as well. It means that I can fetch any sort of interaction I want from my sideboard, which, if they had more mana, I'd say negate really sounds like a good deal. I can honestly just grab a Bloodchief's Thirst and take out this Innkeeper. So we can put out a bit more black mana. Plus the Ashiok. 2, 3, 4. I think whatever we do, we are holding up Dimir mana. Ooh, unless I want to play the Master of Time. I think we hold that. I think we go Wish. So let's Wish for... It can be a negate for future ultimatums. It could just be the Bloodchief's Thirst, like I said before, take out the Innkeeper, prevent them that sort of card advantage. I think that's fine. They're so far off casting ultimatum. And it also means they can't attack with their Love Struck Beast if they don't find another 1/1. No attacks. A lot of options there. I'm not sure what the correct play was, but I do think we picked a pretty respectable line. Alright. Well, the opponent... Oh, they go for the Spike Field Hazard on my Ashiok, setting it back just a little bit. So irritating. Okay. So we can go for the ECD. Or we can go for the Master of Time. I think we just keep trying to push this ultimate. Slam ECD. And then play out our 1/4. Just try to put as much in front of the opponent's Love Struck Beast as we can. And there's Terror. So pretty big boy. Non-creature spells cost 2 more. So what would I cast? Double Ultimatum and Errata? That's not bad. I can attack with these Nightmares and try to get more creatures. I think we just start with this. We just go for it. We go Ultimatum. Ultimatum. Great Henge. We don't have that many creatures, but so see, why not? Let's get that mana ramp on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy. Look at all those triggers. Take out their Love Struck Beast. This is what I mean. I have enough creatures in this deck that I think it's fine. Yep. Let's take that. Wasting a Scry. I don't think it really matters. Ooh, that goes to my hand, but yeah, we can still cast it. Easy 4. Oh. Esper Genesis Ultimatum. Come on, boys. If this isn't it, I don't know what it is. ECD, the opponent's Terror, the peaks, and they have seen enough. Okay, guys, if that wasn't epic, just drop a like on the video for double Ultimatum off an Ashiok ultimate. Come on, that was just it. Okay, against Yorion with double Bloodchief's Thirst. I don't like it, even though we have 3 lands. I think we can do better. And that is better, but not that much better. Don't want that. We're looking for tomes. We are looking for planeswalkers. Yeah. Your go, opponent. Dimir, maybe? That's a good draw. Let's try to protect it a bit more. So we'll play out the Nightmare. See if the opponent is on just Dimir control. Yeah. That's what I was worried about. Or like a Jwari's Disruption. But, you know, we can play around Jwari's. Opponent's own Nightmare. Okay, that's pretty funny. I can take that out. Let's go for it. Let's take out their Nightmare. Play out the passage, just bluff Dispute, I guess. The opponent misses land. Okay, that's important. Cracking this won't thin our deck. Okay, they just go for the Omen. Waiting to see if we're going to crack for blue. I guess. Savvy opponent. I respect it. 2 to the bottom. Pretty clearly looking for land, and they miss. Perfect. I mean, I don't want to sound like a dick, but that feels pretty good. We'll get in with the Skyclave Apparition. Put this on... No, we're not gonna play that. We're just gonna play out the Tome. I don't want to waste a Scry, so we're gonna crack the passage now. Or blue, because this can be our other black source, the pathway that is. And play out the Temple. Easy keep. Alright, Ashiok's way we can take over this game very easily, especially if the opponent is lacking mana to answer it. And that came off the top, or they would have played it last turn. Solemn Simulacrum. Perfect. Very, very good. So we have a 6 mana play, or a turn 6 play, which is Ashiok, into a turn 7 play, ideally. with the erasure. Oh, the erasure, I'm thinking of Ashiok. Erasure with the Emiria's Call. Alright, no need to scry. Ooh, okay. So do we just slam the trawler? I think we just slam the trawler and say, do you have Extinction Event? It's more mana efficient. And next turn, if I draw land, I can go Ashiok plus Tome Draw. Also, Extinction Eventing isn't great because they have to tap out again, and they don't get the card off their Solemn Simulacrum. Another Solemn Simulacrum, still on the mana struggle. Okay, now that begs me to ask the question, do I take a scry on my tome to see if I can hit land? It's an interesting question. Attack? That's fine. They want the card off their Simulacrum. I would rather they just take the 2 damage. So I will take the scry, but I won't take the draw. It is untapped land, so we waste a counter, but I do feel better about knowing I have the land, because that means I can draw off the tome and play the Ashiok. We have triple, quadruple white and only double black, so let's go for 1 more black. And attack with the trawler. Birth. And draw a card off the tome. Into a Nightmare, okay. So we can go for Birth plus Nightmare, or we can diversify our threats and just play out an Ashiok, which I think is definitely the call. And we'll just push for an Ashiok ultimate. Now if the opponent Extinction Events the board, then we still have a Planeswalker presence. But it might get a bit awkward if they start throwing the Simulacrums at the Ashiok. Their own Ashiok, okay. So they can bounce their Ashiok with my Ashiok. I don't know if they're holding an event. They might be, they might not be. They bounce my own Ashiok, which is fair. We can drop off this Birth. It's not doing all too much for us. And they go for an Eliminate on my Apparition, giving them a 3/3. That's fine. One of the Simulacrums will attack. Again, I'm not worried about my life total. That can go through. Let's draw. Okay, so Trawler hits for 5, potentially 6 with the tome, putting them on a 1-turn clock to find Extinction Event. I don't hate it. Or they can start tapping it with like Heartless Act, but not Eliminates. So let's actually go for it. Them plussing Ashiok once isn't that scary. A Fae of Wishes. Hello. Yeah, sure. We'll take the double white tap. I was just looking at the auto tapper to make sure we were fine. And that puts our opponent on a 1-turn clock. So I can play my own Ashiok and just make another 2/3. I can Nightmare Simulacrum, which kind of gives me a look into their hand. Or I can play Fae Fetch Counter Magic. I kind of like saving Fae for next turn. So how much mana do we have? We have 6. So we can play Nightmare plus a Heartless Act. I think that's good enough. And I don't love giving them a card draw, but I do like the fact that this will let me take a look at their hand next turn. Although the correct play really could have just been Fae into Negate. Although, while that secures me playing around an Extinction Event, it doesn't secure me playing around multiple ways to tap my Trawler. And this kind of does, along with the Fae. Okay, opponent's own tome. That's very mana intensive, but eventually it can gain them life. Oh, and I do have to find a way to draw another card with my Trawler. Okay, so the question is, can we actually get lethal? Their scry is holding priority. I want to see if they're going to commit to any attacks. They commit with the 3/3. Okay, very good. Because the more they commit, the less blockers they have. Meaning my Heartless Act can actually be impactful. Take out their 2/3. Something's holding priority, and it could just be their Omen of the Sea. My turn. Okay. Trawler gets +1/+0. Maybe Heartless Act. Maybe not. We're gonna take a look at their hand anyways, so. Ooh, look at that. Thought. What do you have, opponent? If the opponent gets low enough and we get to enough mana, I can always wish for Ugin and Ugin Bolt Face. The opponent is in deep thought right now. They go for a Heartless Act. Let's go for a tap on the Trawler. Drop off a passage. See, this is what I meant by playing around targeted removal. Double Ugin. Okay. Yeah. Let's that's a problem. I mean, Omen of the Sea doesn't do much. They can tap out next turn for Ugin. So we drop it, and let's make sure we tap this correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. We have to tap a blue. I think this is fine. Granted. And we can grant it just for a negate, or we can grant it for a Shark Typhoon, which can, if they don't find more removal, can push through lethal. Or we can just grant it for a Duress. Ooh. Granted for a Duress, take their second Ugin, leave it up to the draw of the Tome, and another Tome. I actually like that, so we'll go for this Duress. And we'll take out their second Ugin. Nice. Classy way to do it. And we can play this out, but we don't have enough blue mana to return it to our hand. And I kind of do like holding the Amiria's Call. So now the question is, do we attack the Ashiok? Okay, so on the one hand, it gives them a potential card draw with the Simulacrum. On the other hand, they can target my Dream Trawler, but then I just discard and they kill their own Ashiok. So I don't think I attack here. And this can actually be the last point of damage through the air that I need to take them out, but they can always Yorion Blink everything. I think I do play out the Fae, regardless of what happens. Because they can go buy Yorion, cast Yorion, reset their top deck and Ugin. Oh my god. What a joke. What a joke. You're laughing. Having a laugh. Anyways, guys. I'm just absolutely mind blown right now. Let's drop off the call because Ugin can just -0. Jeez. Opponent really just 3 Ugins. Or back to back to back. So maybe the move was just grab negate. But then they play around it by buying Yorion and casting Yorion. So that's not it either. Oh man. It is not over yet, but it's not looking good. The opponent has a Tome. We don't. Bunch of our stuff is exiled. They know the only card in our hand is Ashiok. And the Scry right now, I mean, I probably would have waited, but hey, what do I know? Ashiok? I mean, we play it, right? I'm not exactly going to Extinction Event a Solemn Simulacrum. Oh, okay, I don't want to Ashiok minus. I can minus the Ugin and they just recast it. So I guess we plus. But then this turns into like a weird race where they can bolt my 2/3 and then attack it my Ashiok with the Solemn. Yep. Feels bad, man. Barons. Oh, his opponent's so lucky. Oh, man. And then they buy the Yorion, of course. And Yorion comes down, blinking probably Ugin's loyalty and the tome. What even saves me here? Like my own Ugin? Kind of. We have 1 in the deck, and hey, opponent's drawn 3, man. Jeez. Okay. What do you got? Alright, another plains. Nice. Tap land. Feels good, I guess. Ooh. What do I even... I kind of have to bounce the Ugin, right? But the Ugin can -5. Take out the Yorion. Bounce the Simulacrum. I mean, it's all not great, right, guys? Like, the opponent has an Ugin, has a Tome, has a Omen. Let's check what's on top. Tome. Oh, they're so close. I guess we keep it, right? Helps us get more cards. This for even isn't horrible. Again, it's not where we want to be. This making a 2/3. I mean, they just -5, right? But maybe we force them to, or no, they don't even need to. They can just... Yep. So I think the play is just bounce Ugin, force him to replay it, make the opponent spend his mana. I honestly think that's the best play. And then name Odd, so the opponent has to commit to casting the Ugin and then bolting my Planeswalker, which isn't even a bad turn. So yep, you're at 6 life, and I probably can't close this game out. Feels bad. Look at that. Ugin comes down, no surprise there. I was so busy playing around Extinction Event all game that I was not playing around 3rd Ugin. Sue me. Yeah, that'll go face. It's fine. Tap my black because we have cards that cost lots of white mana. If I get hit with a negate here, I'm just going to concede. Let's go. ECD. Castle. Alright. Castle can... I mean, it can draw a playable 2 mana card, so we draw now. We're a card off. Okay, alright. Okay. There's a lot of contingencies, but if we don't... If they don't have counter magic, which we know this deck runs negate, then maybe resolved ECD could be something that we look forward to. We definitely don't scry with the Tome on upkeep. Okay, that's good. They're spending a lot of mana to use their Barons. So how many ECDs have we gone through? I don't think any. Yeah, so we are bound to draw this soon. So the opponent has 5 mana, 3 cards. Okay, I mean 6 mana, 3 cards. They can easily have counter magic. Nightmare. Okay. Making me feel better. I mean, we kind of have to just go for this, right? And just, do you have a counter spell? Is it no? Please, God, let it be no. It's no! Oh, man. Okay. Alright. ECD lands. We take out 3rd Ugin. And we get this ticking. Now I can play the Apparition and take out their Tome and have this Nightmare do nothing for a second. Although that might have been a mistake because we could be getting some value back from our yard. Although this would have been 3 mana exile target opponent's graveyard, which isn't ideal. Expensive Blood Chief's Thirst. And we have a castle now, but they have a Barons. And we do have an Eliminate in the deck, don't forget. They clock me with the Simulacrum, so they either have instant speed interaction or they just forgot to use the Barons. Let's drop. Cling. Birth. Not great, I'm gonna be honest. Do I have any planes left in the deck? I just want to make sure. I do have one. Okay. So let's make sure we hit our land. Just empty our hand out as well because the castle. Alright. Are you really going to counter a birth? Like, let's not kid ourselves here. Let's not play that game. Grab the planes. Play it out. And... Alright. I always want 2 other black available, so this stays untapped. So I guess we tap like that. But that leaves a lot of white, so I guess we just tap both white sources and say, alright, good card, boys, good card. Teferi. Teferi. That's not bad. I think we cast that. Neutralize. Okay, that's fine. I take that any day. And it kind of sucks that my whole graveyard gets exiled here. But at least the Cling isn't in it, right? It just means that my ECD won't be as good. But I mean, a lot of it was exiled. Alright, so this Barons is becoming scary. We have to start worrying about our life total. Ouch. And we're down to 7, so Barons is lethal next turn because they can double pump. Let's exile an Ugin. Draw a card. I mean, that could have been right to do pre-combat, because if I draw the Eliminate right now, I'm going to feel like an idiot. Alright, Simulacrum. Wall, I would say, is really good, but it's painstakingly, like, bad against their Barons. Land. Actually, I know I'm being really, like, I want to say not even edgy, just like careful with my taps. It's because I don't want to get mana screwed because I mistapped. So we'll take my last tome draw. Got full value off this thing. Very good card. Another land. That's really bad. Ooh, okay. So am I just dead right now? I go Extinction Event even. And then I have 5 more mana. This can untap and hit me for 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 6, 8. I think I'm at 1, so I can't draw with the castle. But I kind of have to call this for even, right? And we'll see if the opponent even pours all their mana into the Barons. Also, if this gets countered, it's also kind of just like fine. So even, yes. Okay. And we pass. Drawing a land here, brutal after hitting our land, because we will take 2 for the Barons. Yep. And they pump, so I do think we're just dead. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, you do that. Oh man. Can you imagine? Jeez. But I guess, hey. That's what makes Magic so fun, right guys? You just get the shit beaten out of you by crawling Barons enough times, you just play more Eliminates. Latrice! I think the opponent... Did the opponent just miss lethal, guys? Let's show them 2 lands or 1 mystery card. Let's do that. The opponent takes the 1 mystery card. Nice. And let me just check right now. If they animate the Barons, that's 10. Opponent might have just missed lethal. So instead of... Wait, did they? They would have had 4 mana? No, they put me to 1. But, okay. So, they don't miss lethal, but they give me a castle draw. Second Barrens. Alright, I think we have to take it. Another land. Fae. Oh, what does Fae do for me? Fae. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's go. If the opponent was at 3, I'd fetch Ugin Bolt Face, but alas, they are not. Fetch, okay, let's say I fetch Shark Typhoon. And then what? Fetch Shark Typhoon, a hard cast, put me at 2 mana, play the Fae. I'm just dead. Oh man, if I had more life, okay. I can grab the Eliminate right now and just survive for longer, which I don't hate. It would answer one of the Barons. I can get my own Barons and just pump a crap ton of mana into it. Alright, let's grab the Eliminate. Play out the Fae, because we need blockers. Oh my god, are we just dead to the Atrice? Okay. No, we're not. We're not dead to the Atrice. Alright, how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 6. Yes, we are. So what I was thinking is we bounce the Fae by discarding these 2 lands, and then we have enough in our yard to escape Atrice targeting a creature and gain escape Cling, gaining some life. But that requires 8 mana, and we have to grant it Elspeth's Nightmare. Really, homie? Alright. Let's go. Right now. To my hand. And the opponent's misplayed before, so we'll see what we can do. If they don't animate the Barons for whatever reason and think they have a cheeky lethal with a Atrice, then I just gain 3 life with the Cling. They're touching it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why? 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 I don't understand. Oh, this game was so close, guys. This game was so painfully close. I don't even know if there was anything I could have wished for there to keep me alive. And yeah, they can animate other Barons and have another blocker. So even if I gain 3... So let's say I did gain the 3 with this. I'm at 5, and I think I'm still dead, but take out the Barons, and that's game. Watch them have a counterspell. I knew I was gonna lose. They have Jwaris? Yeah, okay, auto pay 1. Piss off. Oh, guys. What a game. I'm keeping that in here. I might have miswished, but I think that was a crazy game. So we go triple or double ultimatum into a triple Ugin game on the enemy team. These are entertaining videos. Alright guys, and we are back. So I was in this sort of magic slump where I wasn't sure what to play. All the decks I had I was like, I'm kind of feeling medium about, but played a couple games of what I consider more of a classic take on Control. And this was a blast. That last game, 30-minute Control mirror against Dimir. I'm still mad at myself. I feel like I could have played it. If I played it a bit differently, we could have won that game for sure. But you can't play around everything, and I don't think I could have predicted the opponent would have a third Ugin on top. If I think back on it, they might have scried it to the top, but I was playing a sheer tap out plan, right? I don't know why you would keep a third Ugin against my board, like, albeit it did win in the game, but I don't know. That was just something different. But yeah, guys, the deck list will be in the description down below. This isn't an optimized Esper list, but it can sure win you some games. If you're having trouble against control, you can always start running more counter magic and less tap outy stuff like Teferi or Fae of Wishes, but that's sort of the whole reason the deck is built. It's to have a different style of control that can hopefully still get you there. And the Fae board is a lot of fun. You can customize this however you want. I found myself wanting one Essence Scatter, so that might be something to think about. Maybe drop off like the Shark Typhoon. It's a pretty good card to fetch sometimes, but like not as typically. Or like you can drop off I'm not sure, the Heliod's Intervention, that kind of thing. You can do pretty much whatever you want with these Fae Wish boards. They are very flexible. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. Have a good one, and I hopefully will catch you in the next video. Peace out, everybody.